Welcome back, traders, to a new video. Today I want to be talking about a custom script that my friend Daniel wrote for all of you, and that is this spreads column right here. What this does is it calculates the percentage the spreads are compared to the bid. So here the spreads to the bid are 6.3%. Here they're 2%. So when I choose a strike price, ideally I like to choose the spreads that have the lowest spreads. So I just look at the ones that have the lowest percentage, and those are usually the ones that have the tightest spreads. And you need to make sure they're tight so that when you're doing market buy or market sell, that you're getting good fills and not horrible fills where you will be automatically down a lot. So today I'll be going over how to exactly install the script. The file will be in the description box below, but if you can't follow the file or you have a question, you can follow this video tutorial and it will guide you exactly how to get this spreads column installed in your platform. So let's get right into it. Before we get started, quick disclaimer: I am not a financial advisor and this is for educational and information purposes only. This is not investment advice.
Yeah, so in order to get these scripts up on the screen, what we do is we're going to start by going to your options chain like you have right in front of you. Then right there on the layout button on the top left of the screen, click there and customize. You're going to pick the first unused script. In your case, I want to pick like 8 or 9. Remember the other day we were, for the person that's looking at this, they're probably going to pick 1 or 2 if they haven't used any. Mark, you and I are using a different number because we've kind of gone back and forth on this. So just click on that and then click add item underneath. And then on that window, click on think script editor. And then you're going to erase that simple moving average wording and go into the Word document that we prepared. You're going to copy and paste the first script.
Right here.
Yeah, on step 5. Copy that. Yeah. Paste it in. And then on top, change the name from custom 8 into something more recognizable. In our case, it'll be called spread, right? Yep. Yep. But take away the percentage that way a little bit, make it a little bit narrower, and I think it's obvious what it's implying. Then click OK. OK. Click OK again. And right there, you'll see the spreads for each of the strikes in terms of percentage points. Anything over 10 will be shown as red, and anything 10 or under will be shown as yellow. So, obviously sticking to your rules that you'd like to see your spreads stay at 10% or less for an ideal option. A person always has the option to modify this script. Let's talk real quick through modifying it. Click right there on layout and customize. And then on the spread, click on the little scroll icon right there. Yep. And you can change on that third line where it says spread per less than or equal than 10. You can change that to 8 or 12 to adjust your criteria. This might be helpful if you find that a stock has a lot of really tight spreads and you want to kind of tighten it up, to kind of help you decide. But, sticking to 10 is the right thing to do here because that's the system that you're teaching. And then, of course, right here under color yellow, you can change that to, for example, green if the user wants to highlight the good ones in a different color. We chose yellow because we're going to make another column that's going to make the use of the green. That's going to help, kind of filter it out a little bit more quickly. That's it. You can press OK there, get out of the script. Everything will update. And there you go. I don't know if you have any other comments that you want to add.
Yeah, so for those that don't know what this percentage actually is, in my course, I say that I like to do spreads that are less than 10% of the bid. So this is the percentage is the spreads compared to like what percentage the spreads are compared to the bid itself. And that's the percentage here. So it kind of makes it a lot easier to your eyes, so you don't have to, do a lot of math. And, if you don't know how to find percentage, this is an easy way where you just input this the code and the script, and it tells you the percentage right away. You don't have to calculate it, and you can see which ones, are the best. You could take the ones that are lower spreads, so that if you're doing market buy or market sell, you get filled better and you don't lose money or you don't lose profit once you sell. So, like for example, the red, like I wouldn't really take these because they're 14%, and this price is even low, but like even like these 13%, these are pretty cheap. So okay, so if we look at a stock like ATKR, this kind of gives us a very good visual idea on what strike prices you can take and what strike prices are good. As you can see here, like the 6% strike price is okay. It's it's pretty expensive, but here is also one which is around $1,000, 6%, which is not bad. But then here we see that this strike price, which is around 270, it's 17% spreads, which is something that you don't want to be in, especially if you're doing market buy and market sell. And if you're trying to scalp it, this is not something you want to be in. And here, these spreads are 115%. This is also something you never want to take in options. You're just going to get destroyed. I mean, the spreads are more than the bid itself, and right now in the scenario. So having the spread script kind of helps you visually see what strike prices are good to take and which ones are bad and which ones you should never take ever during that day because the spreads are so far apart.
Yeah, something that I'll add is that when you see an options chain that has very little volume like this one, it's like none of them break 100. What happens is that any of those spreads that are under 10% right now could suddenly become horrible because there's so little volume that the order book might have a bid and an ask, or an ask that disappear, and then all of a sudden the next bid or ask is further out, and that 5%, that 5.82% could all of a sudden become 30% in a fraction of a second. So when there's very little volume, I think you should kind of warn anybody to just, maybe not even consider that trade at all, unless, they're doing something more non-standard, but I don't think you ever follow that practice. So I think it's, typically high volume correlates to small spreads, but sometimes the market makers will set a small spread to kind of attract buyers, but that could go away at any instant here. I wouldn't be surprised for this to all turn red very suddenly. We saw that the other day in I think it was Futu, maybe, where you were seeing really bad spreads on the put side, and then we looked again and they were all good. It could be, yeah, I don't know if that's happening today, but
yeah, so it could change at any time, even
yep.
if a spread looks like it's bad, it's good. If it's like 10%, it could easily go sideways and go all the way up to 20 or even 30%. Or even vice versa, sometimes on a downtrend, the calls have pretty bad spreads, but then once it starts to bottom curl, the spreads start to tighten up a little bit. Even if it runs and you're getting calls still, like, if there's a big pop, the spreads might be pretty wider than they usually are. This could jump from 8% to all the way to, 15%. Or as I said, vice versa, it could be from 15% all the way down to 8%. So you got to watch out for them. Make sure when you're entering, the spreads are tight and they're not too far apart, especially if you're doing market buy, as I said multiple times. I'm saying it multiple times because I don't want you to get bad fills on market buy. And then you're going to be like, what did I do wrong? Even though the stock went up, you're still down because the fill was very bad. And then if you sell it when the spreads are also bad, your sell fill will also be bad. And it could end you up being either really down, or if your system says you're up $100 and then you sell and then you're automatically only up $20, that could also be a reason why, because the spreads are not tight if you're doing market buy or market sell.
So I mean, for this one that you have highlighted right now, if somebody would make a market buy right here, they would buy that at 380, and if they instantly decided that the trade was about to take, a different direction and they wanted to get out, they would instantly lose $30 per contract, which is, even though it's 5%. Well, see, now it dropped a little bit, so now it's only 20 cents or $20 with the multiplier. That's still kind of like a non-ideal number. So I think that's why it's also important that you also recommend that people try to trade higher priced options between 300 to 700, 200 to 600, kind of in that area. If somebody wants to, some people like to play options like it's a lottery. So they think I'm just going to buy a bunch of contracts and then become a millionaire when it blows up. But what ends up happening is that you buy a lot of contracts and that strike that spread gets multiplied. So if you bought 100 of those that had a $30 spread, you'll be instantly $3,000 down if you wanted to quickly exit. So
Well, yeah,
the,
even like
the,
this one, like the as you said, lottery, like the 117. If they purchase, like, I know the spreads are $15, and it may sound like not a lot, but if you put in a lot of contracts, like $100, you're automatically down $2,500
exactly.
with only 2,000 buying power.
We don't do
I mean,
lottos
sorry,
here.
15. Sorry, $1,500. You'd be down $1,500 with only $2,000 buying power. So you would be down. What is that percentage wise? Like 60, 70% all right away.
Right away. Right.
So that's why you should not be doing. That's why I say focus more on the more expensive stocks, even though it's only you could if you could buy one contract, it's fine, but it's better to buy these decently good priced contracts instead of buying these cheaper contracts because they're a lot more riskier. It's better to buy quality rather than focusing on quantity. You rather buy one good contract than 10 shitty contracts and be down a lot because of the spreads.
Yep. Yeah, buying those cheaper options out of the money with more open spreads is a quick way to blow up your account. Because also something that you see a lot is not only are the spreads wide, but there's a tendency for the spread to be a minimum of 5 cents instead of being like a 1 cent. If you look at a high volume stock like Tesla, their options can often have, spreads that are, multiples of 1 cent or $1. See like 115, 119, 177, etc. But if you look at something that's got lower volume, the spreads automatically balloon to 5 cents a lot of times. So that's $5, right? And $5 is a quarter of $20. So if anybody's buying those $20 lotto calls, like they say, it's a recipe for disaster. But you don't ever do those.
Never
Yep.
will. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully this script is going to help you be a better trader, finding a right strike price quicker. Again, just choose the one that has the lowest spreads percentage compared to, if that's in your price range. Don't go if that's too much in your price range. If you're interested in Daniel, this is his Twitter. It's I Trade for Jesus. I will link his Twitter down below, and I will also link my Twitter down below and a few more other things. So if you are interested, go check it out. And yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you on the next video. Have a good one, everyone.